Little Layla Shoemake was a bright, smiling little boy, and like most kids his age, the 6-year-old from Fayette County, Georgia, was more than happy to spend his time running, playing sports, and generally enjoying life. He loved climbing trees and getting dirty. In fact, according to his mother, Amber, Leland's favorite thing to do was roll around in the dirt. She described him on Facebook as the light of her life and the center of her family. Leland, who was born prematurely, was a smart little boy, always loving to learn new things. He enjoyed school and loved to spend hours watching documentaries on TV. Amber affectionately called him our little nerd, Leland. He also developed a natural interest in others and, according to his mother, was a very social child. In fact, he loved to chat with everyone he met, and his friendly personality meant that they often gained new friends. He was also a movie buff. Jaws was his favorite movie, while Steven Spielberg was his favorite director. In fact, he would often talk about his most beloved movies to entertain his family. However, in the summer of 2015, the little boy's life changed dramatically and tragically. It was what he loved most, playing in the dirt, that likely led to his completely unexpected downfall. Sadly, the child developed a brain infection caused by an amoeba known scientifically as Balamuthia mangarax. Doctors could not be 100% sure how this microorganism got into Leland. This amoeba is usually transferred from soil to the body through open cuts or sores, suggesting that it may have entered his body while he was playing. After feeling ill for 15 days, Leland's terrified parents rushed their son to a local children's hospital. Doctors initially suspected the boy had meningitis, but later confirmed that his symptoms were the result of an amoeba-related brain infection. In fact, such brain infections are rare, hence the initial confusion. Leland was treated with 10 medications, each of which had side effects. As he lay in his hospital bed, the little boy struggled with fever, headaches, vomiting, diarrhea, and dizziness. Ian even developed problems with his eyesight. Sadly, the little boy took a turn for the worse, and after battling the infection for almost a month, he lost his life on the 25th of September 2015. Heartbroken, his parents struggled to understand how their son could have died in such a tragic and unforeseen way. However, what happened next would provide real relief for the parents. As they were preparing for their son's funeral, they found something on the living room table in their home that startled them and stopped them in their tracks. It was a letter from their son, and upon opening it, the following could read, "Still with you. Thanks, Mom and Dad." Leland had also drawn a red heart containing 3 words, Mom, Dad, and Love. Amber later wrote on Facebook, "This is the note we found from him on the table in the living room. We have no idea when he wrote it, but you can tell he was always a special boy. We will love you forever, Leland. Sleep well and don't let the bed bugs bite." Seeing that unexpected act from her son, Amber shared an image of his letter on social media, where she had been documenting her little boy's illness. The touching photo has since been shared thousands of times, and there were more than 4,000 people who added their own comments in tribute. Apparently, Leland often left hand-drawn pictures and other notes around the house for his parents to find, but this one would be the most cherished, so much so that the family put it in a square. It now has a place of honor on the living room wall of their home. Writing on the same Facebook page, Amber continued, "I tried to protect Leland as much as I could, and I did my best to keep him safe. What he loved most was playing in the dirt. I never imagined that would be the thing that would take him away from me." During the brief time her son was in the hospital, Amber set up a page to receive donations and in doing so, hoped to receive support to pay for the hospital bills. However, at the time, the mother did not know that the money raised would actually help pay for her son's funeral as well. The sad story really touched people's hearts, and in fact, nearly 700 donations were received, totaling over $26. Since the tragic loss of her son, Amber has channeled her energies into creating a foundation called Lillian Shoemake, where they host events and receive donations for children in need, all in honor of her son's short but happy life. The foundation's main goal is also to raise awareness about the amoeba that killed their little boy. The foundation's website details the symptoms the amoeba can cause, allowing parents to detect a possible infection in their child and potentially avoid the fate that Leland suffered. So, while the little boy's death was tragic, it wasn't entirely hopeless. On the Foundation's Facebook page, Amber wrote, "Everything I do will be in his honor. He was a very wonderful boy and my best friend." Undoubtedly an unfortunate story that could happen to any of us. The amoeba is no respecter of age, gender, or race. So be very careful, kids. If you have any wounds or cuts, the best thing to do is to keep them clean and cover them to avoid all kinds of infections. Don't forget to the emergency hospital if you feel something is not right with you.